Hello, Canada hockey fans in the United States. Bill Hewitt here at Maple Leaf Gardens. And the score is tied 1-1 with 1 minute and 16 seconds remaining in the first period. A 1-1 tie. Montreal won, the Leafs won. Alan Stanley. A flip pass to Eddie Shack. Back down the left wing, up over the blue line. Trying to cut in from the left side. He's ridden off by
Last minute of play in this period.
Trying to get a hold of it. Hofford knocked the Montreal player down. Talbot, here comes Geoffrion. There's going to be a penalty to the Leafs. Geoffrion, a flip pass, goes over to the right wing. It goes loose to Ferguson. Stopped by Pulford, and it's called, and a penalty comes to the Maple Leafs. The scoring plays, Pulford from Stanley at 3:40 and Provo from Richard and Laperriere at 4:21. Penalty to Pulford, likely for elbowing. Vern Buffy, the referee, explaining the penalty.
Leafs penalty, number 20, Pulford. 2 minutes for charging. Time 19:20.
Apparently they call it charging at 19:20. Face-off is in the Leaf zone at the rim of the circle. And it's Keon out there with Armstrong, Stanley, and Horton. Horton shoots it and hit the linesman Matt Pavlich on the ankle and goes down the ice. Geoffrion back for it. 30 seconds remaining in the first period, a 1-1 tie. At the ice for Dave Ballone. Behind Beliveau, and that's offside. Had 5 penalties in this first period, handed out by referee Vern Buffy. 3 of them to the Maple Leafs and 2 to Montreal. The linesman Matt Pavlich, number 7, Ron Wicks, number 10. Jean Beliveau, number 4. Bill Hickey, number 8. And Hickey has his helmet off. He had it on earlier in the game, but he has it off now. And he's replaced as Richard comes out, Henri Richard. Claude Provo, number 14. Dave Ballone, number 20. Geoffrion, number 5. And there's Jacques Laperriere, number 2 with it. He shoots it in. Richard races after it. Stanley's in first. He clears it to the blue line, but not out. Geoffrion getting set. Tried to hook it through. It's in front of the defense. Provo's shot was knocked by Bauer. Then Geoffrion a drive right on, and there goes the bell. With it all around, they don't know the period is over. The bell is ringing. The blue lights are... I still marvel at the agility of Charlie Hodge.
Well, that's true. And when you say the shots were 13, we're not counting the ones that just missed by an eyelash. It probably was another 7.
Well, now we're all set for the face-off at center ice. And Bob Pulford is in the penalty box, so the Leafs are short-handed, playing 6 men to 5. Canadians bring it up. Provo, number 14, is over the line. He waits. His pass for Ballone was just a shade too far. Stanley knocked it to the blue line and out. Geoffrion had difficulty controlling it. Keon to the boards. Finally, Keon backhands it down the ice. 55 seconds left in Pulford's penalty. Ballone back, number 20, with Richard, Laperriere, Geoffrion, and Provo. Ballone to Geoffrion at center. He's partially stopped. Ballone carries on. A pass for Provo to the right wing. His shot deflected by Horton to the corner. Tim Horton with it. He lifts it, but not out. Richard tries to keep it in. Stanley shot it off the boards and out. Laperriere with it, number 2, to Ballone. Into Richard, into the corner. He sent it right in front, and it went all the way out over the blue line to center ice. 15 seconds left in Pulford's penalty. George Armstrong intercepts, tried to go around Laperriere, and Laperriere skated him off neatly. J.C. Tremblay behind the net. His long pass for Richard. Armstrong got a piece of it, and Stanley made sure. Now then, Pulford is back on the ice. The Canadians take a long shot. J.C. Tremblay is caught by Bauer. Bob Pulford Off the boards to Stewart. Ron Stewart. A long pass for Keon, and was stopped by J.C. Tremblay. Provo for Richard. Horton on the boards, off it to center ice. Perrier knocks it back. It's Ballone over the line with Richard. Richard takes his shot, and Bauer just got a piece of that one as Richard nearly caught the corner. Here's Keon, a pass for Stewart. He's in the clear. Right, oh, and he went too far. He couldn't control it. Stewart was in the right wing, but he couldn't control it. A long pass for Richard, and Pulford's back. Off the boards for Stewart. Stewart going over the line. Took his shot wide. Hodge grabs it. Then Stanley ran to J.C. Plum. He's right in front for Mahavlich, and he couldn't get a shot. Horton, a pass to Stewart. Stewart right in front for Kelly, and there was Richard to take it away. And down the ice he goes with Ballone, who takes the pass. Ballone right in front, and Richard just failed to get a stick on it as Bauer deflected it over the glass. Henri Richard within an ace of deflecting that one. Face-off is in the Maple Leaf zone to the right. Bobby Russo out there with Ralph Backstrom and Bill Hickey from Montreal. The Canadiens in their white uniforms. It's Keon, at least Kelly with Bathgate and Mahavlich. Here's Bathgate down the ice to center. He takes a long shot. That bounced and stopped. It's cleared along the boards for Hickey. Hickey missed a check from Baughan and Brewer, and Kelly goes back to cover up. Kelly for Mahavlich. A flip pass for Bathgate. Bathgate up at center. Pass to Mahavlich. Mahavlich shoots it in. Kelly was inside the blue line. Face-off is outside the blue line. It's a 1-1 tie after 3 minutes and 3 seconds of the second period. Montreal won, the Leafs won. Puck goes into the Leaf zone. Carl Brewer back. Ralph Backstrom bumps into him. Brewer comes up with it, though. He's given another bump. And Armstrong trying to come out. Then Brewer and Backstrom were fencing with one another. So there will be penalties. Backstrom number 6, Brewer number 2. Brewer in the penalty box, so is Ralph Backstrom. Keon comes out with McKinney, Horton and Stanley, Red Berenson, Bill Hickey, Terry Harper, number 19.
Canadiens penalty.
Talbot.
Number 6, Backstrom. 2 minutes for high sticking. Leafs penalty. Number 2, Brewer. 2 minutes for holding. Time 3:23.
3:23. McKinney chased back, has it behind the net. Don McKinney. A pass ahead to Tim Horton on the right wing for Keon, and then Horton gets it himself to Don McKinney. Over the blue line, McKinney trying to cut in, stops, back to Horton, and he fanned on it. Stanley to Horton. Tim Horton now to the Montreal line, and over with McKinney, takes the pass, there's the shot, and he missed the corner. Stanley lets one go. That's wide. Hodge fell, he's got his skate, I believe, caught in the mesh. Now he's out and away from the post. At Detroit, Detroit Red Wings 1, Chicago no score, and Bruce McGregor gets credit for the goal from Gordie Howe and Pitt Martin at 5:10. Bill Hickey, number 8, coming up the center. Up over the blue line, Hickey gets his shot, it's way wide, and Horton goes back for the rebound. Off the boards for Keon. Stopped by Harper. Stanley for Horton. Horton away from Berenson. Over the line with Keon. Keon gets his shot. Hard stop that. McKinney is driving, hit the post. And McKinney hit the post. Back comes Talbot. Over the line for Berenson, stopped by Horton. For Keon. Keon and McKinney up together. Over the line for Keon. Keon to Stanley. Stanley moves in with a shot right on. Stanley gets it again, and his shot was wide. Keon keeps it in the Canadian zone. It's Berenson getting a hold of it and shooting it out to center. Alan Stanley now with it. To Pulford. Pulford over the line. His shot hit Harper. Pulford takes Harper into the board. Stewart back to Hillman. There's his shot. It hit a skate. Stewart after it. Knocks it behind the net, and Talbot gets it number 17. Ahead for Ballone, number 20. Back to Talbot over on the wing to Claude Provo. Teams are back at full strength. Ballone over the line with Backstrom, and the pass was behind him. Then Stewart caught Backstrom with a high stick. Backstrom went to the ice. Well, that was a rather unusual play, and that looked like Stewart was going for that puck, and the stick was hooked by Backstrom up into his own face.
Well, that's the way it looked from here, and I think the point of the stick caught Backstrom right along the lip. It looked as if it just ticked him. I don't think he's badly hurt. As a matter of fact, I think Ralph was looking a little bit hopefully for blood. I'm not sure. There is a bit of blood on the ice, that's right. This Backstrom, Bill, is one of the boys that Staff Smythe has had on his list of wanted players for some time. As you know, I guess he showed me a list a long time ago, and he had on that list McKinney, Bathgate, Backstrom, and Eddie Litzenberger. Well, he's had them all, or has them all, except Backstrom. I wonder if you'll get him.
Well, we're all set for the face-off. Goes back to J.C. Tremblay, over here to number 22, Johnny Ferguson. He's checked by Stewart. Over the line was Shack. Shack went through, still has possession. Centered it out in front, and J.C. Tremblay found that on his first try, but gets it out to, and Bond traps it and takes a long shot. There's a bouncer that Hodge knocked to the corner. Pulford runs into J.C. Tremblay, and it's cleared for Belleville. Belleville ahead to Ferguson. Down the ice he comes, over the blue line. Bond chases him off, but he gets his pass across the goal mouth. It's cleared out to Pulford, and there's going to be a penalty there to Bond. We're at the 6:10 mark of the second period. The 1-1 tie.
Leaves penalty. Number 21, Bond. 2 minutes for holding. Time 6:09.
They call it officially 6:09. Bond for holding.
Bill, I was just going to say how well Bond and how cleanly Bond plays when he gets this penalty.
Well, then from the faceoff, Horton slapped it around on the boards. LaPerriere failed to keep it in as at least Armstrong tipped it down along the boards. And back for it is John Belleville, number 4. To Geoffrion, number 5. Here he comes to his own blue line to center. A pass at the defense. Geoffrion has to go back to Belleville, number 4, is coming up again over the blue line. A pass for Russo. Keon failed to get it out. Horton slaps it off the boards down the ice. Pulford comes out with Stewart, Stanley, and Horton on the defense. Canadians have the odd man advantage. Geoffrion getting through the defense. There's the shot. Bauer stopped that. And Stanley came from nowhere to knock it off to the side. And a shot down the ice by Pulford. Johnny Bauer stopped that one from point-blank range off Geoffrion. Doc LaPerriere, number 2. Pass over on the right wing for Russo. Pulford Takes a long shot. That's wide. Stewart took a slash at the puck. Broke his stick. LaPerriere comes up the ice. A pass for Beliveau. Goes to the corner. Pulford fanned on it. Here's Russo centering it right to Stewart. Stewart just shot it out to center ice. J.C. Tremblay over to Richard. He's bumped by Pulford. Now it's Ferguson, number 22, as we come up to the 8-minute mark of the second period. Ferguson coming down the ice. A long shot. Bauer stopped that. The rebound, Alan Stanley. Stanley for Pulford, and he couldn't get out. J.C. Tremblay the shot. It hit Richard on the back of the skate. Pulford for Stewart, and Stewart golfed it out. Vaughn is back on the ice. Now up the ice for the Canadiens. A pass for Richard. Got it right into the goal mouth, and Bauer holds it for a face-off. And this game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Molson Canadian. Molson Canadian. Lager beer.
Score is tied 1-1 at the 8:22 mark of this second period. Now then, Mahavlich clears it to the blue line to Kelly. Now Bond carries on to center. Over the red line to the blue line with Kelly. Kelly closing in, into the corner, centered it out in front, and Terry Harper was there. Richard, a pass to Ballone at center, up to the Leaf blue line. He waits, takes his shot. Bauer stopped it to Bond, to Armstrong. Ballone breaks it up. George Armstrong to Red Kelly, a flip pass for Mahavlich, too far. Provo comes down the ice. A pass for Richard. Armstrong broke it up. Talbot given a shove by Mahavlich. Goes into the Leaf zone, and Bob Bond back. A pass for Armstrong to Mahavlich. Back to Armstrong. Over the Montreal line. Armstrong centered it for Mahavlich. There's the shot. It's way wide. Mahavlich tried to keep it in. It deflected off him, and Ballone covers up for the Canadiens. He's given a bump. Provo with it along the boards. Holds it there for a face-off.
You know, when the Canadiens made the deal for this Dave Ballone last summer, Bill, I wondered what they saw in him. He had got 11 goals for the Rangers, but obviously they knew something. He's had 24 goals this year, I believe, and he's an outstanding player.
Offside at the Montreal blue line. It was out and in again very quickly off the stick of Alan Stanley, number 26. It's Keon, Bathgate, and McKinney. Backstrom with Hickey and Russo. LaPerriere playing on the defense. Backstrom skated off by McKinney. Up the ice for Russo. A flip pass for Hickey. And Horton skated him off. Cleared it back to center. Russo coming back down the ice for Montreal. Over the line. He falls as Horton bumped into him. Dave Keon. A pass to McKinney. Up the center. Over the line to Keon. Keon closing in. Passed it right in front. Horton lets it go, and it's wide. And it goes all the way out to center. Pass to Bathgate. Over to Keon. Keon going in with McKinney. A pass for McKinney, and he was too well covered. Comes back for Horton again and bounces out to center. Stanley with it, number 26, up to McKinney. Over the line for Bathgate, and he was checked. Russo with it at center ice for Montreal. Over the blue line. Shot it wide. Hickey after it. He centered it out in front. Here's Jeffrey on number 5. Watched by McKinney. He got it out, though, in front. Hickey couldn't reach it. Hickey then picks it off, hands it right to Bathgate. Bathgate to McKinney. Down the ice they go. Over the line, and Bathgate was nowhere near. McKinney then stole it. McKinney closing in from the right side. Pass for Bathgate. It goes to the boards. Cleared out on the wing. There's Vaughn taking a long shot wide. And Bathgate with it. A pass for Shack. Just failed to click. Pulford moves up. It goes in behind the goal. J.C. Tremblay, a pass to the blue line. Backstrom getting it out of the wing to Jeffrion. There's the long shot way up into the end blue. Almost up to the penalty clock. Score is tied, 1-1. Now set for the face-off inside the Leaf blue line. It's knocked out to John Ferguson, a long shot. Bauer to Brewer. To Bond. A pass ahead to Pulford. Pulford up at center. Over the line. Trying to go through. Shack does. Standing it right in front, and Stewart failed to get to it. Brewer keeps it in with a shot that's wide. John Ferguson after it. Jeffrion fell. Talbot covers up. And play is called for a face-off in the Montreal zone to the left. Face-off in the Montreal zone. We've played 12 minutes and 15 seconds of the second period. It's a 1-1 tie. From the face-off, John Ferguson. A long pass into the Leaf zone, and Brewer's going back for it to touch it. Icing will be the call.
You know, Bill, this John Ferguson might have won the Rookie of the Year award if it hadn't been for that fight he had with Ed Westfall, in which he had his thumb nearly amputated. He got 18 goals, although he missed 11 games.
On the face-off, it goes to the board. Play is called. It was knocked ahead with a glove. Ready to go for the face-off again in the Montreal zone. On the draw, the Canadiens with Ferguson coming out on the left wing. Pass to Jean Beliveau, number 4, over the blue line. Drop pass for Jeffrion. He's checked. Harper. Watched by Brewer. A clearing pass to Jeffrion. Back for Beliveau. Stopped by Shack. Shack then bumps into Harper. Pulford. A pass for Stewart. Back to Pulford. Then Bond moves up. Over the line. Play is called. And Harper and Shack will get penalties. Well, it wouldn't take too much to start something now.
Well, I don't know. After seeing that first game in Montreal, Bill, I have to think these teams are well behaved tonight. I think we had 10 penalties before the 5-minute mark in that first game, so they're on their good behavior tonight.
Canadiens penalty, number 19, Harper, 2 minutes for roughing. Leafs penalty, number 23, Shack, 2 minutes for roughing. Time, 12:57.
12:57 is the time of the roughing penalties to Harper and Shack. Modlich, Kelly, Hoyton, and Stanley. Richard, Claude Jacques Laperriere, J.C. Tremblay. Stanley, a pass for Mahavlich, offside, Red Kelly on the right side, and the face-off is outside the blue line. Henri Richard, number 16 for Montreal Canadiens. Teams playing five-a-side. Kelly flicks it over the line, failed to get to it. Horton back at center. Watched by Richard. Gets away from him, comes up to his own blue line. A pass from Mahavlich. He flicks it in, goes wide of the net. Hodge had it bounce off his glove. Then J.C. Tremblay had it tip his stick. Kelly falls down. It's Henri Richard outside the blue line. A pass to Jacques Laperriere. His shot, Bauer caught it and held it long enough for a faceoff. Stanley and Richard bumping. From the faceoff, back to Mahavlich, to Alan Stanley, back to Horton. Horton coming down the right wing with a pass from Mahavlich at center, and Richard broke it up. Then Horton slapped it back in. Hodge came out of the net. J.C. Tremblay to Claude Provo was knocked down by Stanley. And Provo just saw Stanley at the last second, who'd moved all the way up to the Montreal blue line. Stanley, a pass to Kelly, to Mahavlich. Mahavlich back to Horton. Horton over the line, shot it to the far wing. Mahavlich back to Stanley. Stanley takes his shot, bounced over Mahavlich's stick, back to Stanley, over to Horton. There goes the shot, and it hit Laperriere. He races down the ice. He's got a breakaway. He went too far. Stanley gets in ahead of him. Clearing pass off the boards for Mahavlich. With Kelly over the line. Kelly trying to cut in. He's standing right to Mahavlich. He shot it wide on the second try. Richard comes back. A pass for Talbot. Passed it right in front of the net. Brewer has it. A flip pass for Eddie Shack. Stopped by Talbot. Keon against the boards with Talbot, and they hold it there for a face-off. And this game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Got a thirst for a lager? Get Molson Canadian, the clearest, brightest lager beer that's brewed today.
You notice who was the first defenseman back there on Jacques Laperriere's breakaway? Alan Stanley. What a series he's having.
And the Leafs send Keon, number 14, with Don McKenney and Andy Bathgate. Backstrom with Hickey and Russo. Bob Baughan, a long shot. That goes in behind the Montreal goal. Terry Harper watched by McKenney. It comes back to Brewer. His shot was wide. McKenney flicked it right from in front. And Hodge got a piece of it. Clearing pass down the right wing for Russo, and it's offside. Face-off will be inside the Montreal blue line. Kenny flicks it wide of the Montreal goal, goes after with Terry Harper, who beat him to it, but he passed it right to Brewer. Brewer's shot was wide. Comes over on this wing, and Hickey flicks it out to Bobby Russo, down the ice with Backstrom. Over the blue line, Russo fell, and Carl Brewer. A pass to Keon. Keon and Bathgate and McKenney over the line together. And a pass intended for McKenney hit a leg. Bill Hickey cleared it out to center. Brewer to Bathgate. Up to Shack. Shack behind Brewer. Then it gets by Shack to Bobby Russo. Here's the long shot. Bauer stopped it. Keon to Bathgate. Too far. Talbot. A pass for Hickey. It gets in their skates. Shack nearly got loose. Back for Russo. Over the leaf line. It hit Keon. Eddie Shack to Bathgate. Bathgate down the ice. Over the line. Tried to pass it through.